What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Your boy Dominic Rich. Today's actually a nice day to do some maintenance on my car, give it a little oil change and top up the fluids, guys. I'm a mechanic by trade, by the way, if you guys don't know. But let's talk about the games that were played today, the important ones. Chelsea away to Tottenham, winning that game 2-0. Highly controversial match. And Watford picking up their first Premier League home win this season, only their second win of the season in the Premier League, defeating Manchester United 2-0. Both matches 2-0 affairs, both winners keeping clean sheets. So this is huge for Watford, of course. Big result for Watford. That one had a very comical moment in there. David De Gea conceded the first goal after an Ismail Assar shot dinked off his face into the back of the net. Another David De Gea howler. It could have been avoided. And maybe Man United could have won that game. In retrospect, when I really think about it, that's what in retrospect means, by the way. Man United could have won this game. They could have won the game. Or they could have even picked up a draw. Because they had their chances, but those chances were foiled every single time by the big man Foster in goal, who I'm going to give the man of the match to, even though I think Troy Deeney was given the man of the match. But that goal is a confidence booster for Ismail Assar. And then maybe several minutes later, Aaron Wan-Bissaka took down the Watford player in the box. He's one of the best tacklers. And it wasn't a good one. Just like yesterday when Sterling was taken down by Pereira, who is the Premier League's most successful tackler. So even though you might be a good tackler, it doesn't mean you're going to pull off the tackles all the time. So with that tackle, Watford awarded a penalty. VAR involved, of course. Troy Deeney, the man coming back from injury, a long injury layoff, stepped up to dispatch it beautifully past David De Gea. It's good. It's good for Watford and it's good for Troy Deeney because they're having a horrible season. They have already sacked 2 managers. Javi Gracia, I don't know if you guys remember him, Javi Gracia, and they sacked Quique Flores Sanchez, who was coming back for his second stint at the club. Nigel Pearson, newly appointed manager, just taking charge, witnessed his first goal and picked up his first win. It's not often a Watford team defeats a Man United team. It doesn't happen very often, but it happened. It happened today. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's away record, his horrible away record, continues. Man United has to blame themselves here. They got to blame themselves. Definitely got to blame themselves. They had the chances, especially Lingard, man. What has happened to Jesse Lingard? What has really happened to Jesse Lingard? 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. He has lost his touch. He should have just dinked that over his head into the back of the net, but he dinked it over the goalkeeper and over the goalpost to spill Man United's best chance. That was their best chance. Greenwood did get a similar chance in the end there too. He also put his over. So it was just an off day for Man United, who was kind of building up a head of steam. They were stringing together a few good performances. But they're now 8th in the Premier League table. 25 points. 8. As for Watford, matter of fact, before I go on to Watford, it's going to be very difficult for Man United to get top 4 this season. They'll have to win the Europa League in order to get Champions League football. They're not get this does not look like a top 4 team. They beat us, City, but they're not playing like a top 4 team on a consistent basis. Their away record needs to be a lot better. It needs to be better. It needs to be better. On a consistent basis. It needs to be better. Seriously. As for Watford, they had to spoil Paul Pogba's return. But he was out for a while, and today was the first match he featured in for a few months. But Watford had to spoil it. Or maybe it was David De Gea who spoiled it. Because maybe if he didn't let in that first goal, Man United could have, pulled things back in the game. But it happens. It happens. For Watford, they're still bottom of the table. But, positives. They are tied on points with Norwich. An inferior goal difference, but nevertheless, they are tied on points, on 12 points. With 3 wins. 3 wins. If they get a good run where they could win 3 games, or pick up, or just let's say avoid losing, Watford can find themselves around 14th, 15th by early January. So, despite them going through their managerial crisis, firing 2 managers, Watford can still survive. They can still survive. Villa's not looking good. Norwich isn't looking good. Southampton still trying to find their feet this season. Everton hiring Carlo Ancelotti there too. They're not playing good. Bournemouth are struggling. Watford could be safe. And they will need more results like this. Sometimes it takes a new manager, new philosophy to just have the players pumped up, wanting to play for the club again. You know what I'm saying? But that old way of thinking all the time, it gets players bogged down. It gets players low on confidence. When a manager is not really inspiring the players, then you don't get results that you desire. And that's what was going on with Watford. And maybe Nigel Pearson is the man to push them forward. And maybe the Watford board could stop being so goddamn ungrateful by firing their managers so fast and just give them a nice little run. You know what I'm saying? But big win, nevertheless, big win. As a City fan, every time United loses, it feels good. It feels good. But still, overall, as a football fan, it's nice to see Watford fight back and try to claw their way up the Premier League table. So congratulations to Watford. Man United need to get their act together. Martial, all these guys, they weren't good. McTominay, they weren't good today. Jesse Lingard needs to be dropped. That Maguire money isn't looking very well spent right now, right? Like, they need to bring back Dean Henderson and get rid of David De Gea. His time is like, it's up. Sell him. Cash in. Cash in. One of those big teams in Spain might buy him. I don't know which one. Or maybe Inter, Juventus, or one of them. But get rid of De Gea. Get rid of him. As for the Tottenham Chelsea match, oh man. This one was one controversial game. It was one controversial match. One controversial match. VAR decisions, red cards, racial abuse, Mourinho coming up against his old team in Chelsea. It was a London derby. It was a big game. It was a big game. And Mourinho took over Tottenham when they were like in 14th position, 11 points off top 4, and he was in touching distance of getting them into the top 4 if he picked up a win against Chelsea, which he failed to do today. Frank Lampard, 4 losses in his last 5 Premier League matches, needed to win this game big time. And he switched up his system and he achieved a humongous result against a man who coached him, who managed him during his legendary Chelsea career. Tottenham were off their pace today. They look really off color today. And they were playing well. They were playing well, but Mourinho coming up against his two old teams in United and Chelsea has failed to do the business. Failed against Bayern Munich too. So, is it the same old story for Tottenham Hotspur? No, he has improved things. Dele Alli looks a better player. Aurier, with the exception of today, looks a better player. Sissoko looks a better player. Dyer looks a better player. And he has gotten, who signed a new contract? Is it Alderweireld or Vertonghen? Alderweireld, I think, signed a new contract. Now he needs to get Eriksen and Vertonghen to sign. I can't remember if it's Vertonghen or Alderweireld who signed a contract, so pardon me with that one. But he has gotten the state of the club looking better. Let's just put it that way. It has looked better. But Tottenham, they weren't good. They weren't good today at all. The first goal conceded from a corner routine. And the way they conceded the corner resulted in the goal. Aurier, the ball went over his head. Can't remember who passed it back to him, but it was a bad pass or it was a bad attempt to keep the ball in play. And then Aurier fell asleep on the corner, short corner. Willian getting the ball back, cutting in and blasting it past everybody. I could even see Dele Alli like he's trying to get out the way. And Willian showing all his critics that he still got it. That's why he's been linked to Barcelona. I think Willian should go to Barcelona. I would like to see him at Barcelona though. He's getting up there in age and he won't get too many more opportunities to move to a bigger club in Barcelona. Not the Chelsea fans or some people will say Chelsea's a big club too, but Barcelona and Real Madrid are like the pinnacles of clubs that you want to go to. You know what I'm saying? So that was a great goal. That was a great goal by Willian there. Frank Lampard scoring first in his new system. It was interesting to see the 11 that he chose today. Abraham, Mount, Kovacic, Kante, no Jorginho, no Pulisic. And it worked. 3 at the back in Rudiger, Tomori, Zuma, Kepa in goal, Alonso and Azpilicueta as fullbacks. It worked. It worked wonders. It was magical. It threw Mourinho off his pace. Mourinho weren't expecting that. He was expecting the same old thing Frank Lampard has been doing for the last 5 games. Hence the reason why he lost so many of them. He had to refresh things. And he did so. And the players responded beautifully. Hats off to Lampard. And you could see how humble he was, you know. He beat his master. And Mourinho must feel proud. Because when you could beat the master, that's when you know you're getting some things right. And that's what Lampard did. He beat the master. And seems like he's heading in the right direction. Controversial game. Second goal. Scored by Willian, a penalty. If Gazzaniga was able to clear that ball properly, it wouldn't have been awarded a penalty. It would have stayed a free kick like the referee deemed it to be. But when VAR had to come into play, it spotted the infringement. And not often we see the referee overturn his initial decision, but VAR had to overturn it because Gazzaniga missed the kick, which turned out, it turned out to be like a Chuck Norris style kick. A lot of you younger people won't know anything about Chuck Norris, Walker, Texas Ranger. But it almost took off the head of Marcos Alonso, who had to take evasive action. And Mourinho must feel proud. Because when you could beat the master, that's when you know you're getting some things right. And that's what Lampard did. He beat the master. And you could see how humble he was, you know. He beat his master. On review, Gea Gazzaniga missed the ball, woefully missed the ball, and almost took out Alonso. Referee pointed to the spot, up step Willian to dispatch beautifully. Chelsea were bossing this game. They were bossing the game. Monk looked really lively. Kante looked good in the game. Chelsea were controlling the game. Tottenham had one shot on target. Kepa hardly had anything to do. 5 shots, 1 on target. Tottenham were poor. They were poor in this game. And you could see Mourinho expressing his frustration. Harry Kane isolated. It hasn't been the best season for him. 9 goals this season. It's like, 8 goals behind Jamie Vardy. He has a lot of catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do. But 2 of the biggest talking points in this game, Heung-min Son, man. Silly Son. I told you guys about Son. If you're watching this right now, I don't know if you remember when I told you guys about Son. When he broke Andre Gomez's leg, his ankle, I told you guys it was Son who did that. I watched the video, I saw it, it's Son. He has anger issues that he needs to quell. He needs to curb it. He lashed out against Gomez. I'm going to stand by that. Broke the man's ankle. He was part of it. If he didn't make that tackle, Gomez would have been running around for Everton today. At the back end of last season, lashed out against Bournemouth. Pushed the player. Got a straight red. Today against Chelsea, Rudiger, Heung-min Son got the ball, bad touch. Ball got away from him. Rudiger came in with his tackle. Son fell to the ground, and with his outstretched legs, he fired a kick. You know what I mean? Like, if he had just left his leg outstretched and it touched Rudiger, that would have been fine because you wouldn't see the kicking motion. But you could see that he brought, it was in a kicking Lukang type motion. Referee had to refer to VAR, and VAR deemed it to be dangerous play. I don't think Son got a lot of force in that kick. Rudiger may have overreacted a bit. But nevertheless, he did it. It's like you saying you fired a gun at me and it missed, so you shouldn't be punished for that. You attempted to shoot me. Same like how Son had the intention to kick Rudiger. He got sent off, and look at Son's reaction again. Like, every time Son does something like this, that's always his reaction. He hits the ground and he's like, like, come on, Son. Come on, you could do better than that. You could do a lot better than that. Red card, Tottenham down to 10 men, and at that point in time, they couldn't do anything. I was surprised that Chelsea didn't score more goals, but it ended 2-0. That's all it needed to be. 2-0. Big 3 points for Chelsea. Keep them in 4th. Take them up to 32 points. 6 points behind Man City. 17 points behind Liverpool. That might go up to 20 when Liverpool play Leicester and defeat Leicester. I think Liverpool will defeat Leicester. If Leicester does defeat Liverpool, great for us. We would only be 11 points behind Liverpool. That would be great. So Leicester could do us a favor and, defeat Liverpool. Or pick 2 points off them. That would be nice. That would be real nice. But as for 5th and 6th, you have Sheffield and Wolves in 5th and 6th. Not a lot of points ahead of the Tottenham and Man United, but still, Sheffield and Wolves are in 5th and 6th. they're taking the Europa League spots. So we could all say Tottenham, Arsenal, not even Europa League clubs this season. Well, Tottenham is in the, and United. Tottenham is in the qualifying spot in 7th, so they're part of the Europa League squad. But could Leicester keep up the intensity and grab that Champions League spot? I know City would keep up the intensity and grab one of those spots. Liverpool would grab one of those. But could Chelsea keep off the likes of United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Sheffield, and Wolves? Even Newcastle, Crystal Palace, all these teams are in contention. But it's still early season though. Still early times. Only 18 matches in, guys. 18 matches in. Yeah. I think we're only 18, 19 games in. Still young. Still a big chunk of the season. I think we're almost halfway through. But guys, I've been going on way too long. But there was a lot to talk about in this game. Antonio Rudiger, racially abused by the Tottenham crowd. The FA has to do something about this. The FA has to step in and take more action. Close out sections of the stadium. Like the section of the stadium where it happened, close it out. Then Tottenham won't make money from ticket sales over there. The people won't get to watch it. Less people will get to watch the game. So people will be more conscious. More conscious of what they're doing when they're doing it. Whether under the influence of alcohol or not. Because whoever did it could have been drunk. But still, those are inhibited feelings you're letting out when under the influence. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. It's 2019. The FA need to do something. And they're not doing enough because you know what? When I checked the Twitter account, the Premier League Twitter account, they tweeted out something about Heung-min Son's red card. And I'm like, okay. But when I checked, the game ended and they didn't tweet out anything about the racial abuse on Antonio Rudiger. They could have at least said something. I know they was talking, they were talking in the PA, in the stadium and all, and making an announcement. But still, Premier League official Twitter account didn't say anything. I don't know if they said anything at this point in time, but they need to be way more proactive than this instead of reactive. But guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Long ass video on my way home from work. I just had to do it like this because time is of the essence, you know what I'm saying? And these videos come out pretty good if you ask me. They flow really nice. I think driving helps me to concentrate a little bit better on what I have to say and the words flow. I don't know what it is, but it just works. It just works. And I know some of you guys appreciate this type of video too. You know what I'm saying? You go home, sit down in the studio, put in a whole lot of editing, you do a whole lot of work, and then bam, you put it up and then there's crickets. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be smart out here. You have to be smart out here on YouTube. Know what I mean? And I've been doing a lot of that lately. So guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Until my next video, I'll be back soon. I've been grinding a lot in December, and it will continue in the year 2020. So, if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Smash the thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.